moral compass. The four-way test as a tool to strengthening our moral compass. The four-way test of the things we think and do as Rotarians is one of our guiding principles in Rotary. Apart from the four-way test, we also have the object of Rotary, which is the philosophical basis of our 5 avenues of service. We also have our core values in Rotary, which talks about service, integrity, fellowship, diversity, integrity, and leadership. But why am I talking about four-way test? Because it's applicable not only to us as Rotarians or members of Rotary International, but also because it helps us as individuals in our private and vocational and family lives to strengthen our moral compass. Of all the guiding principles and core values of our organization, Rotary, perhaps the most well-noted and of great importance in our daily activities, either as Rotarians or as non-Rotarians, is the four-way test. So let us look at its origin. The four-way test is one of the world's most widely printed and quoted statements of business ethics, which was created in the year 1932 by a Rotarian called Herbert Taylor, who later served as the Rotary International President, when he was asked to take charge of a company that was facing bankruptcy. The 24-word test for employees to follow in their business and professional lives became the guide for sales, production, advertising, and all relations with dealers and customers. That is, those they buy goods from, and also those they sell goods to. And the survival of the company was credited then to this simple philosophy. It was adopted by Rotary International in the year 1943 and translated into more than 100 languages and published in thousands of ways because of its relevance in helping to direct our moral compass. The author was a member of Rotary Club of Chicago and a prosperous businessman. Interestingly, when he wrote the text, he wrote it not for Rotary, but for a troubled business. During the Great Depression in 1932, Herbert Taylor was asked to take over a near bankrupt club or aluminium company, rather. And his first order of business was to draft a code of conduct to guide all business decisions for the organization. A declined business that failed to meet this, what I call moral compass, or the test, and the company thrived as a result of this singular decision. Rotary International officially adopted this same four-way test in 1943. And when Herbert Taylor became the president, Rotary International president in 1954, he donated the copyright of that test to our organization, and that's why we use it officially at every Rotary gathering. How has the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do evolved over the years? The preamble to the four-way test is of the things we think, say, or do, provides the context. Without it, it is not quite clear what is supposed to be the truth, what is supposed to be fair, and what is supposed to be beneficial for. It is by no accident, therefore, that the author used this exact words in the preamble. And the preamble reminds us of the importance of following the four-way test at each of these stages. Without the preamble, to give it the context, it loses its impact, especially to someone who may be hearing it for the first time. Maybe some of our guests today are hearing it for the first time. But as Rotarians, we admire throughout the world because we strive to live up the four-way test. As Rotarians, every time we recite it, we are encouraged, we are motivated to find the deeper meaning and greater inspiration in its words. Let me take the first question. Is it the truth? This connotes a kind of trust and asking if what we say, do, or think is believable. We are very familiar with the phrase, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and what it implies. The message is that what is said is the truth. Truths are molded by perspective and experience. They can also change because perspectives and experiences do change. A logical starting point, therefore, is to find the common ground on truths and what it is to build our truths on facts, the reality that cannot be logically disputed or rejected. The second question, is it fair to all concerned? The question talks on accountability for our actions and our behaviors. The second tenet of the four-way test, is it fair to all concerned, serves as a beacon to Rotarians worldwide and is also apt in our world today. When we interact with each other and our communities, we try to be fair to attain our personal and club objectives without cheating or trying to attain an unjust advantage. There are several synonyms for something or for that word that is called fair. When you say something is fair, you mean it is just, it is equitable, it is impartial, it is unbiased, it is straightforward and objective. Fair means showing no evidence of favoritism, evidence of self-interest, or indulging our own likes and dislikes, which can be difficult to achieve. One lesson of this is that if we choose to define fairness in relative terms, we will rarely find it. Being fair to all concerned, therefore, won't eliminate all hardships, but it should distribute hardships according to the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If what you are doing to them was being done to you, how will you feel? How will you react? People are much more willing to bear hardships when they believe it is at least fair to all concerned. Then the third question says, will it be goodwill and better friendships? This is talking about one of our core values as Rotarians. Fellowship. Fellowship in service, fellowship in meeting, fellowship with ourselves. Rotarians are known for being sociable and building relationships across board. It therefore means that doing something from a position of kindness and compassion in the friendly hope that action will succeed. Goodwill and strong friendships are the invisible glue that holds us strong and that holds our clubs together in our organization. When most people think of goodwill, they have a feeling of approval and support. A business person, for instance, also defines goodwill as the value a business attains through its brands, and its good reputation. Goodwill, therefore, is measured as the market value of a company over and above the value of its tangible assets. Another core value of ours talks about integrity and can be called the father of goodwill, while our reputation is the mother of goodwill. As Warren Buffett once noted, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and just 5 minutes to ruin it. And unlike your other assets, goodwill cannot be insured. The only way to retain it is to keep building on goodwill. But how do we therefore build on goodwill? The answer is very simple, and it's in the motto of Rotary International, which says, service above self. Treat others as you want them to treat you. Put service above self. If goodwill is defined as a kindly feeling of approval and support, what better way to create a feeling of approval or support from others than to put service to them above ourselves? Practical example of goodwill in Rotary is this one. Rotary as an organization has carved its goodwill by the vaccination of the children of the world against polio virus, where no one else will be allowed to do so. Rotary has carved its goodwill in this effort over the years since 1985. And it has been able to create far more than it has used. When polio is finally eradicated, very, very soon, the most important tool in that effort will not be the money that has been spent, but the goodwill that Rotary has developed over more than a century, and the goodwill that saves lives of those millions of children. The four-way test therefore refers to better friendships, not more friendships. Better friendships are built on 5 key legs: respect, trust, reciprocity, shared experience, and mutual enjoyment of each other's company. If you desire better friendships, therefore, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, first examine if respect, trust, and reciprocity do exist. Without them, it is unlikely for you to have that shared experience or enjoy each other's company. One advantage of membership in our organization, Rotary, which I welcome non-Rotarians to join, is that you meet people who are easy to respect and trust, and you know how to reciprocate. Being engaged in your club, like Rotary Club of Akute, provides you the opportunities to share experiences and enjoy each other's company. Here we are talking of empathy. Empathy for our fellow Rotarians, empathy for people out there. Successful people understand that to succeed in life and in the long run, they should strive for a win-win situation in whatever they do. They understand that when others benefit, be they our family, friends, our members, customers, or employees, they benefit too. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? May require more effort and be less profitable in the short run, but on a longer term basis, benefiting everyone concerned, and it creates that lasting respect and loyalty that cannot be bought with money, but that pays back huge dividends in a winning investment. Moral values of the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. The 4 brief questions that I've enumerated in the 4-way test are not based on culture or religion. They transcend generations and national borders. They are as relevant today as when it was created 93 years ago, when it was created. Because the issues of morality and ethical behavior in our life that existed then still exist today. So how do we now strengthen our moral compass? using the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do, and with Rotary involvement. As Rotarians, we should be in the forefront of ethical behavior and renewal. Our actions and body language should promote good neighborliness, admirable moral values, and high ethical standards in all the things we think, say, or do. For non-Rotarians, and on a national scale, we may consider being the advocate of entrenching those 4 great questions 24-word 4-way test as follows. We should advocate for its inclusion in our various school curriculum at all levels. We should make it an annual discourse at our national level. We should inculcate it as a catch them young program at our educational institutions. And this could be in form of various activities that we think of. We should make the 4-way test as a moral compass for being our brother's keeper. We should always speak the truth and stick to the truth always. We should be just and fair in our dealings with fellow Rotarians and non-Rotarians. Friendship in whatever form takes time to germinate. Your actions, my actions, and sincerity of purpose makes it to stay on a longer term. It is on that note that I want to ask each and every one of us to continue to put service above self in all the things we do. The late MK Obiola used to say something, that the hand of the giver is always on the top. And that has always been the case, and will continue to be the case. So I therefore ask you that as you attend this ceremony today of the investiture of our dear brother Ajayi Irivboje as the 20th president of the Rotary Club of Akute, we all put service above self. We support humanity through our substance, time, and talent, so that Nigeria and indeed the world will be a better place to live in. And as we do that and do all these things, it will be in the overall interest of all and not interest of me or you as Rotarians, but for the betterment of humanity. I thank you so much for listening, and may the God Almighty bless our services as we serve humanity in all our undertakings. Thank you, and God bless you.